So you've spent the time to build your Upwork profile. You've even gotten a few jobs and some five-star reviews. And now you're flooded with invitations. Do you know how to respond to an invitation? Find out in today's video. What's up, everybody? So I hadn't intended to do a video today, but I received a couple invites to do Upwork jobs overnight. So I figured this would make a good time to do a video. So as it turns out, there are right and wrong ways to accept or decline interviews. If a client is interviewing you, then they've taken a look at your profile. Sorry, if the client has invited you to their job, then they've taken a look at your profile and believe you to be an expert or at least helpful in whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. As it turns out, the cat is going to weigh in on this as well. Say hello, kitty. So this is the posting. So it is very Spartan. It's only a handful of words. And the person is asking for a mentor in machine learning and artificial intelligence. Now, I think this in general would be a good fit for me since I get on YouTube and speak in front of a camera. So I'm quite comfortable doing that. There are some, I don't know, pink flags, let's say, not really red, but pink flags. So one issue is that this job posting is very Spartan. There isn't much information to go on. So I don't know if I would be a good fit. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. I don't know what sort of skill set that would require. Other thing is that they just have this basic little, I'd like to invite you to my job kind of stuff. So it's nothing personalized. They, if they had said, hey, Phil, I think you would be a great fit for this job because of XYZ, then I would feel a little bit more comfortable about it. But I'm going to go ahead. Oh, and the other issue is that they're in Belgium, and there's nothing wrong with being in Belgium. It's just that it's something like 5 or 6 hours ahead of me. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. Other good stuff is that they do have a history on the platform of hiring people. They have spent some money, and they do have a decent amount of reviews with a decent quantity of reviews. So a 4.93 star. For a client that's so, you should really have nothing but 5 stars as a client unless you're a jerk, but we'll take a chance here. So other thing to see is that the job posting, while that loads, yeah. So in the job posting, you can see that they have spammed out a bunch of invites. So this client is just kind of going through and looking at people's profiles, said, that roughly matches. They probably searched for these 3 terms, and all 3 of which appear as keywords in my profile. So they probably searched for that and saw me and said, hey, we'll just invite this idiot. So I'm going to accept this and see what we get. So they don't describe the project. So the milestone is just going to be project completion. And due date, I'm going to set it 3 months from now or a couple months from now. Who cares? It's not really a big deal at this point. So say 1 to 3 months. I'll say, hello, Frederick. I copied his name. Thanks so much for reaching out to me. So what you want to do is you want to acknowledge that the client reached out to you and you want to thank them for it. They don't have to do that. They could have waited for you to come to them. Always a good idea to acknowledge that. I think this, I see you're looking for some guidance on a machine learning project. So I'm not putting a whole lot of effort into this. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time writing it because, well, I don't really care, but I'm adept at explaining concepts and breaking down complex topics into digestible information. That said, I don't have a huge base of expertise in machine learning. I don't have a broad. So what I'm trying to say here is that I do not have direct experience in a whole lot of different areas. So my predominant area of expertise is reinforcement learning. I've done obviously toy projects on this channel for things such as neural networks, convolutional neural networks. I've done some image recognition, but nothing substantive or industrial by any means. So you want to acknowledge that if you have a weakness. You have 2 ways of handling that. You, first of all, must acknowledge the weakness. You don't want to set false expectations for the client. But you can either say, I don't want to do the job for that reason, or you can say that I'm willing to do the job provided you're patient enough to work with me and I'll charge you a discounted rate as I'm learning, right? You don't want to work for free, but you don't necessarily want to charge your full rate. So there's two different ways of handling it. Uh, they haven't told me specifically what the job is about, so I'm going to use this as a segue to find out what they are looking for. Apparently, the cat heard something she didn't like. I'm just clarifying, saying no natural language processing, which is true. I don't have any experience in that yet. Um, so this is the right way to respond. So you have uh, the greeting. You always want to call them by name. Don't say the wrong name. That's a it's a good way to lose the deal right off the bat. Thank them for reaching out to you. They don't have to do that. Acknowledge what they're looking for and say why you think you're decent at it. In particular, I have a small, I would call it nano size. Good grief, I can't type. I use breakdown. You don't want to use breakdown twice. You don't want to use the same verbiage twice. Where I explain fundamental concepts in deep and reinforcement learning. I'm not going to plug the channel. If they ask about it, I'll tell them. This isn't about me. This is about them. So, can you please share some details on what the project is about so that I can see how best to serve your needs? And that's all I'm going to do. So, I'm going to go down and answer their questions. What is my preferred industry for machine learning? I am particularly interested. I don't know if this would qualify as an industry so much as a discipline. I don't know if he actually means industry. He's from Belgium, so I guess English is probably their native language, but if they're not from the United States or from the UK, then I don't know if what they're saying is what they really mean. Enforcement learning, as I see it, as a viable path towards realizing artificial. That said, it is not a. I'm just going to keep it short. Now, you could go into depth in this, so it would be disingenuous for me to speak to having experience in many different industries because I do not. So I'm not going to do that. What are the best machine learning resources when it comes to supervised systems? I have direct experience with Andrew Ng's Stanford course on machine learning and have heard great things about his extended course on deep learning. If not data, what's the most important element required for machine learning? So this I can probably answer. So in machine learning, I think the most important thing is to be very careful in your feature selection. There's a lot of talk of bias in machine learning systems. So you can train bots on Twitter, and then they can come out saying some pretty pretty horrible things, right? Because Twitter is a complete and total cesspool of people saying shitty stuff to each other. So it can come out racist, misogynist. It can say all sorts of horrible stuff. So I think that goes beyond data as well, right? So that goes into feature engineering as well. So let's do this. So let's say I think more important than data is the process of feature engineering. Certainly data is important, but having the best the researcher needs to have some idea, some a priori, some idea beforehand. Why do they not like that a priori? whatever. Shut up. It's Latin, bitches. Some a priori idea of how that data fits into the model. If that is lacking, then can we really trust the model output? I think not. So I just went really quick. And so another reason to just kind of make very short answers to this is that this person is spamming out invites. They are, probably not a great client. I'm just trying to get in here and show you guys how to actually respond to it. So hit submit and see what happens. Then I got another one that I want to show you. So yeah, so this one is also in Germany. So again, it's overseas. No problem working for people overseas. It's just that the meeting times are going to be a little bit, out of whack. So now this person does have a highly detailed job posting. The problem is that I have no clue what's going on. So Neo4j, no idea what that is. They want a graph-based database and graph network of drug names, blah, blah, blah. I know vaguely what that means. Could I implement that in code? No, not easily. And I don't want to waste their time. That's very important. You do not want to waste the client's time. Nobody gives a sailing shit about your time. It's about the client's time. Isn't that right, Kitty? I think she agrees. So I don't believe I would be a great fit for this job. And so that's precisely what I'm going to tell them. One thing I do want to see is the job posting to see what they have going on. Yeah, the other thing is a $300 fixed price budget. It's not really something I can handle. It's too cheap for me. Although if I had to learn it, then $300 to learn something new is quite good. So that's not, nothing to sneeze at here. So yeah, again, they've spammed out a bunch of invites and they've only got 5 to 10 proposals. So, and this client doesn't have a payment. Oh, you can't see it. Doesn't have a verified payment method. So not too interested in working for them, but I'm not going to mention that. I am going to be graceful. Where is here we go. Sorry. I want to decline and say it's not a fit for my skills. Thanks for reaching out to me. Unfortunately, I am going to have to decline. I am not well versed in the material and would not want to waste your time. So right now I've set an expectation that I care about their time and that I am a professional, right? Because I'm taking the time to decline it with a message. If you just decline it, then you're just lost in the noise. Now, if you take a moment to actually answer it, then that may stick with the client. They may come back to you later if they have a project that is more in line with what you can actually deliver on. So my area of expertise is predominantly reinforcement learning and image processing. And that's true. So I use convolutional neural networks in an open source project I'm a part of. I'm not just pulling something out of a hat. Should you have any future projects along those lines, please feel free to reach out to me. Best wishes in your search, Phil. There. And then I'm going to decline. And there we go. So I only have one active proposal, and that is that. So I hope that has been helpful. Any questions, please leave them below. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video.